Okay, here we are at the last video. This one's going to be covering manually setting up rounds. The reason for manually setting up rounds is basically when the program is not being cooperative. Primarily, this may occur if competitors have already seen each other before, and especially in the case of a school having to see the same school. So if school A has two people that advance to the final round and you need to pair them against each other, the program isn't exactly the best when it comes to working that out. So it doesn't happen especially often. Most of the time, automatic round scheduling for a basic tournament will take care of it. But when it comes to elim rounds, you can go through the process in the program. But honestly, I tend to just go through manually setting it up. So let's go and break it down. You will most likely need a sheet of paper or some scratch paper, something to write on, because there's some information that you're going to have to take down when it comes to manually pairing it. So let's just go ahead and look here. And for this example, we'll go ahead and let's see if we can find two people from the same school. Well, by golly, we'll just go ahead and use the first two, which is Charlottesville. So the stuff you're going to need to note is this. You need to note this little number beside it because that indicates what entry they are. So in this case, 1 is going to be Charlottesville DS, and 2, by clicking here to the next one, is going to be Charlottesville CF. And let's just say that they need to go against each other for whatever reason. It's the final round, so on and so forth. Something else that may be worthwhile in noting would be a judge that you know is clean, a judge that you know would be available. Obviously, we don't want this one because of the relation to Charlottesville. Let's see if we can find somebody that is available for Lincoln Douglas and might be qualified up. We're getting into the public forum judges, so we're going to go back here to Mason Davenport. With Mason Davenport, one thing we want to go ahead and make sure we note here is the judge number. Judge number for Mason Davenport is going to be number 6 as it's listed there. Lastly would be that of the room number. Sometimes you do need to note that if you have a room number in mind. Again, this would be 1. So 1 would be 100. And we specifically set that up for Lincoln Douglas as it's indicated here. So a good overview of everything we've done here. Okay, so let's go to entry and then operate to go ahead and schedule a round manually right here. Okay, so we're going to go to round 2. We are going to Division 1, and in this case, here's number 1, DS. The reason it's going to be indicated as red is because they are supposed to be negative this round. We have a side problem that came up right away saying that they were affirmative last round, and so they should not be affirmative again. So if we want, what we could do, well, we got a problem here because Charlottesville 2 was also. We also have here the indication that they're from the same school. So some of this stuff you just need to kind of work out on your own in terms of how it works out. If you need to flip them around, you can certainly do that. That would be a simple matter of just hitting the number 2 here, search, the 1 here, search. The room's automatically being put in, but if you needed to switch it up, you could. Here's a list of different rooms that come up. But then with the judge, sometimes you need to put in a number for it. I'm just going to say Judge 6, search, Davenport came up, but you can also sometimes manually click it in as well. Once you've got it figured out and everything's good to go, you can go ahead and click Save Debate. One thing in manually, it's good about checking that is if somebody was left behind. So for example, way back in a previous video, I think the first one, I had added myself. There was nobody possibly in there to compete. So we just simply do a sign and by to the team in the app box. All right, that's manual entry. I know it's short, sweet, to the point, which it should be, because at this point, we've pretty much covered everything there is that needs to be taken care of. I don't really mess with the elim rounds. I tend to manually go over that. I like to eyeball things. It's a good way to review stuff. You're certainly welcome to work through the elim process yourself. This is certainly not meant to be an all-inclusive, but over the years, the fact of the matter is going through simply setting up the various rounds automatically, occasionally having to do it manually, not often, but it does happen. printing off ballot labels, printing off the schedules, going through all that stuff. The biggest thing is this: don't be afraid to do anything you can't undo, because if you are doing a good job of making sure that you are storing your backup files regularly, as I will show yet again, then you'll be in a good place. Here's the last one I did, which actually at this time, this is yesterday because it is currently 12:08 in the morning. So new folder, we'll go ahead and do 12:10 since it's the next day now. Not 12:10. I'm thinking of the time. It's 11:10. We'll open that up, and the new folder, it's going to be 9 in the morning. Save there. So as long as you're backing up regularly, I tend to back up after rounds have been entered with ballots. Also after I've gone ahead and scheduled or paired the next round. But really, it's a matter of just working through it. I hope these help in some way, shape, or form. I constantly would go back to the manual or just keep messing around until I could get it to work. A lot of times it's a simple matter of looking at the information on the screen when it comes to the number beside there, the division they're in, the abbreviations and names and the schools that they're with, or in the case of looking at the ballot entry, you can change your judge here, adding stuff in. It's nice to see that they keep a running record here. But the deal is, this is meant to make your life easier. It's meant to bring you into the 21st century. We're connecting the internet to a program here. It does keep a good track of everything else. I certainly welcome any and all questions. I really don't plan on making more in this. I will, however, start with TRIEPC, the speech or forensic side of it, here in the very near future. So I hope this helps in some way.